Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Health Chats Among Friends. My name is Deidre Kindred. I'm a nurse advocate, educator, and navigator. And tonight I get the great honor and pleasure of speaking with my good friend Heather Bucknell with the Clifton Coufal Law Firm. Say hi, Heather.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me on your
Oh my
podcast.
goodness. Thank you for being here. I am super honored about our top. I'm excited about our topic tonight.
Yeah.
But before we get into our topic, I want you to share a little bit about yourself with the audience.
I'm going to kind of just reference why I'm so passionate about doing what I do with Clifton Coufal Law Firm. Mainly, there's a lot of history with military in my family background. So my grandpa was World War II. My grandma took care of him for, I think, about 14 years before he passed. And for the last 7 of those years, he had neither of his legs. He lost both of them. One was an effect of the war. One was from something else. But my dad was in Vietnam. And so there's just a history there that I love to make sure veterans are aware that this pension exists, because I did not learn of it until I moved from Minnesota to Texas.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, first of all, it's an honor to know that your dad and did you say your grandfather
Yep.
in,
Yep.
served in the military? So that is just something special. I just do not think they get enough recognition,
Yep.
respect, honor. So thank you for that. And then secondly, let's go in to talk about what it is that you do with Clifton Coufal Law Firm.
Yeah, so Clifton Coufal Law Firm is a elder law firm, and you maybe have heard Clifton on this with you before. You interviewed him before.
Mhm.
Wonderful person, excellent attorney. We work with Medicaid and aid and attendance pension benefits for veterans, asset protection for Medicaid, and estate planning documents in the Fort Worth office. So I am more the marketing director, but I'm pretty hands-on with my clients. So I enjoy that. I enjoy the marketing aspect of it, but I also love the meeting with the clients on a one-on-one basis. So
Wonderful. You know, it's all about the heart of what we do.
yeah,
And I thank you for sharing that story of your why that you're so passionate about the
yeah.
services that you guys provide. And yes, he was a guest on my podcast. He was wonderful. That broadcast is coming up soon. But we're going to talk about you tonight.
Not Clifton, come on.
No, it's all about the girls.
Perfect.
So, VA pensions. So that's something you said you didn't find out about until you moved to Texas?
Yeah, this particular pension benefit I had never heard of. It's
Hmm.
wildly misunderstood, and it's only about 5% utilized. And it's just because people hit roadblock after roadblock. And then I think over the years, they've just kind of decided that it's something that they can't get. So I think they've kind of stopped pursuing, they stopped talking about it. Everyone knows about disability, but not as many people know about this particular pension that we're talking about tonight.
Wow. Okay. So what is it?
So it's a pension that is given to those that serve during a wartime period. The VA has determined certain wartime periods. So you have to qualify by serving at least 1 day active duty in one of the wartime periods. And then there's other stipulations along with that. But that's the first criteria you have to be able to pass to be able to be awarded this pension. And what a lot of people don't realize is that a surviving spouse of a veteran can also receive this pension. As long as that surviving spouse was married to the veteran when he passed, she is eligible for this pension potentially if she meets the qualifications.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Wow. Okay. So, wow. So, what would be a typical client that would should consider applying for a VA pension? I know you said 1 day of serving during a wartime period, but is
Yep.
there age? Is there anything else?
So technically, I think most people over the age of 65 are the kind of clientele that would probably meet the health requirements that you have to meet to be able to get this pension benefit. There are some ADLs that you activities of daily living that you have to be able to, you require assistance for. So our law firm and I, on the phone, do an intake process. I call it intake, where we interview the client. We ask all the questions that the VA is going to be looking at. We don't charge for the service, so it's completely free for people to call in. And then we can determine from like the knowledge of what we have with what the VA is looking at and determining if they will get approved for it or not. We can determine after the intake process is done, is this a pension you can qualify through going to the VA, and you know, red roadblocks, you know, saying stop, you won't get the pension because you make too much money is like the often term that people hear. There are other pathways to receiving this pension through legal curing of certain issues. So that's when we step in, we cure certain problems so that then they can get the pension.
Oh, wow. So, about how long does the process take on average, would you say?
So which process, the intake? No, because if we get chatting, it could be an
Yes.
hour. No. No, so from call in to start to finish, I like to tell people expect the VA on average to take 2 to 3 months before they approve the pension. The nice thing is that they'll often back pay to the date that we got them in line. So if it takes 4 or 6 months, then you've established that payback date. So if
That's
when
good
they
to
get
know.
approved, they get a lump sum versus just the monthly deposit.
That's really good to know. So people know
Yeah.
kind of expectations,
Yeah.
before they call and, because some people may think that the process takes 24 hours and then
No, it's not 24 hours. 24 hours with the VA, I don't think.
I don't
They
think
do the
that's
best they
anything with the
possibly
VA.
can. They're doing all that they can. And they actually, that's the one thing that's kind of been interesting with this whole pandemic. Approvals have actually come through more regularly and a little bit faster than normal. The problem is that a lot of people's discharge paperwork is getting hung up at the archives, but that is something that we order for our clients, and there's not an additional fee for that service. And so sometimes we can get it in time. Sometimes, we have to expedite it. But if the client has a DD 214, that's always best, because right now that's the fastest method for this pandemic time.
Wow, wow. So these services help get them aid in attendance to help with bathing and things like that.
So the aid and attendance pension benefit is actually paid directly to the veteran or the
Okay.
surviving spouse themselves directly. They take that money and they use it for whatever services they need. So whether if they're hiring someone for home care, or if they're moving into an assisted living, or if they're living at home and they just need some extra services, whatever it may be, it's extra
Mhm.
money for the veteran or the surviving spouse to help them out while they're aging, because we all know that there are medical expenses that come into play that no one's ever really prepared for.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Right.
could, I should show you the different levels because the pension payout is actually
Yeah.
pretty significant. And so, depending, it's based off of marital status. So if there is a married veteran, I don't know if you can see those numbers, but it's pretty
Hmm.
significant, as you can see. So there's
Oh,
the married
so
veteran, 20, just, $27,540 per year. The single veteran is $23,232 per year, and the surviving spouse rate is $14,928 per year. It's a
okay.
tax-free benefit,
Oh,
so it's yeah, pretty significant. Uh, Often for surviving spouses, it's a game changer.
I,
It supplements out
yeah.
the loss of that security, so it's very significant. It's a great pension.
Yeah. Every bit helps, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
how do you get the word out about this service?
Yeah, so right now, we kind of just we're relying on a lot of word of mouth, but I'm going out, and other people that work at the law firm are going out as well, marketing that Clifton Coufal Law Firm offers this free intake so that we can spread the word about this veteran pension benefit that so many people have been told they can't get. And so I do a lot of presentations. Clifton does presentations. There's a couple other people within the company that do presentations, and so we try to make sure that we're in place and available to answer phones and answer questions there, but also be available for presentations if people want us to come into their community or community center or libraries or anything. We'll talk anywhere.
Okay,
We've spoken at
that's
some
really
churches.
good to know. So what
Yeah.
about Rotary Clubs or anything
Yep.
like that?
I don't think we've done a Rotary Club yet. I think we
Okay.
had one scheduled and then unfortunately got canceled due to, what's
Mm.
been going on for the entire year. But
I
we've
don't
done
know.
some
What
church.
is that? What's been
I
going
know.
on?
Nothing's been going on.
Oh,
We're just not going to talk about it.
right, right. We're just gonna.
Yep, that's right. So yeah, so if you know anyone that ever would like us to come out and do a presentation, yeah, if you're lucky, you'll get me.
Yes,
But
awesome.
no, there's a like quite a few of us that are more than happy to come in and do presentations for whoever calls in.
Wow. Is
Yeah.
there a waiting list or anything like that?
For
Once they do the
the
intake
intake process,
process? Yes,
it's
ma'am.
just we answer the calls that they as they come in. If we need to call you back, we'll just take a message and give you a call back. But most of the time it takes about 20 to 30 minutes for us to talk to the client and ask all the questions we need to ask. So it's great if when clients call in, they can have some of the information available, such as we're going to ask questions about 4 different categories: dates of service. It's helpful if you know that before you call in. It's also helpful if you can give us just a quick little rundown of your medical, not your medical history, but your ability to get around and to do tasks that you need to do on a daily basis. And then we're going to ask some questions about income, some medical expenses, and assets. So if people call in prepared with that, it goes a little bit more quickly. But sometimes people just they don't know what we're going to ask them until they call in. And then we'll just like kind of give them a rundown. This is what we're going to be looking for. And sometimes they'll just give us a call back when they're ready. So either
Wonderful.
works for us. We just want people to know that the pension is out there, that it exists, and that they have an opportunity to pursue it. Whether it's something they choose to pursue or not is entirely up to them.
That's good to know. So at least having some basic information, your dates of service, maybe a little highlight of the help you're needing, or maybe the deficits that you may be having, whether it's, going to the shower or getting in and out of the shower, just basic stuff.
Fall risks, yeah, if you need to use a cane or a walker to get around, just real basic information. If you have memory problems, things like that are very helpful to know. And there are questions I will be asking. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes,
yeah,
absolutely. So again, VA pension benefits.
that's
So they are available to go over the qualifications once again, please.
yeah. So they're available to those that served active duty during a wartime period, or if you were married to a veteran when he passed or she passed. There are a lot of female veterans out there. I don't want to make that assumption out there.
That's right,
So,
right.
so yeah, the one thing I will state for a surviving spouse, you had to not only have been married to them when the veteran passed, you also need to not have remarried. If you do remarry, you need to have married a veteran that qualified on their status. So
Right.
that's pretty important. A lot of times they'll get calls. Some people are frustrated by that rule. It's not my rule. It is the VA standard, and it's unfortunately pretty unbending. So,
Right. Good to know.
but
Good
yeah,
to know.
so yeah, anyone's welcome to call in to talk about this. The 4 qualifiers that I'll be asking about, just to kind of review, is number 1, dates of service. Number 2, your medical information, basic medical information. 3, your income, your medical expenses, and your assets. And from that bit of information, we'll be able to determine if the VA is going to say, red X, you can't pursue this pension, you make too much money,
Hmm.
or if there's going to be a roadblock there. If there's a roadblock, we can fix it most of the time. However, I will let you know, like, not always, just because of the way assets work, and there's a lot of information there that I probably won't go into with you right now. But because of certain asset categories and the way they land and the way they fall, it's not always wise for someone to pursue the pension. So we take that into consideration. We always are evaluating, like, is this the best thing for this person to pursue? Because if it's not, we're very honest with them and letting them know upfront, like, you're welcome to pursue this, If it were my dad, I would tell you it's not the smartest thing to do from a
Okay.
financial perspective. There are categories sometimes like that do come up, but most of the time we're able to assist. I'd say 90% of the people that call in, if they need our assistance.
Wonderful. That is so good
Yeah.
to know. So they can call in, and can you state your telephone number there for
Yep.
me, please?
Right behind me. Posted on backwards, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, I'll help you. I'll help you. I'll help you just this time. So the Clifton Coufal Law Firm can be reached at 1-888-353-3703.
That is correct. And I do say it about 40 times a day, so we're good, but
Dance routine to it too.
that's right. Yep.
Or they
So
have their website at www.cclawtexas.com.
yeah, and we actually have a Facebook page too. Um,
Oh,
so you can check that out. We try to put like helpful hints every once in a while on that. It's probably not as active as some Facebook pages, but it
it's
has
there.
information on it.
Okay.
It's good. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I thank you, Heather, for joining me tonight. This has been so informative. It's so many more questions I could ask, but I think we would be talking about an hour.
Yeah, if you get too in depth, then it just gets woo way over the head.
Right, right. But I would love to have you back to talk about another hot topic. And thank you again. So, again, thank you, Heather Bucknell with the Clifton Coufal Law Firm. My
Yeah.
name is Deidre Kendrick. I'm a nurse advocate, educator, and navigator. I love helping bring reputable resources to the communities we serve. Thank you so much. Any parting words, Miss Heather?
Oh, thank you so much. And to those that serve and have served, and are serving family members that have served, thank you so much. It's, I can relate. I took care of my grandma for the last 4 years of her life, and it's a blessing. And everything that you all do in the healthcare field, assisting the way you do, just wow, it's greatly appreciated. And just thank you so much for this opportunity to share my story with you all. And everyone has a wonderful story to share. So yeah, thank you for listening to mine.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, and tune in next week, guys, for another amazing chat.